Please welcome to the stage one of my heroes, everybody, Audra Williams!
Thank you. It's Women's History Month. It's really exciting. So I was looking up Women's History Month facts, and 1909 was a big year for women. It was the year that it actually became illegal to kidnap a woman. It was until 1909. You couldn't be charged with kidnapping a woman over 16 unless she was an heiress. And then, even then, the penalty was still higher for for stealing a cow. That is just like, that's not even a joke, it's a fact. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, you say facts about gender roles, and then they're kind of like jokes. Feminism. I try to mostly date feminists. And I married someone who said he was a feminist, and he rejected traditional gender roles by just completely depending on me for everything. And I'd be like going to sleep, like, you know, that like you're doing math in your head and you're like, fuck, there's like a mortgage and then there's like whatever. And I was like, do you think you're gonna get a job? And it's like, oh, you don't want to like reinforce patriarchy. And like I shouldn't have gotten married. I don't know like if anyone else has ever done this, but I married someone's potential. Like I was like, no, like we need someone to believe in him, and so if I legally take on half his debt and give him half my house, then he'll start like really making it in this world, and that's not true. Like, I just might have saved someone a lot of money. And I should have known that it wasn't going to work because his mom was really like, she really wanted me to take his last name, which that wasn't going to happen. And also she was like, so I know that you don't shave your armpits, but like, is there anyone here ghosts? Okay, that's fine. So she's like, you know, but for like the wedding pictures, like it's not going to look good if you don't shave your armpits. And I was like, okay, well, like first of all, it's going to look like me, because that's what I look like. And also I'm just like, I defy you to show me like a bride's armpit in a wedding photo. And then I should have married. Right, someone's potential. Armpits. Right, so I was, I'm not talking about armpits anymore, so it's over. I was waiting for the subway, and there was a glycemed ad. I don't know if like people know what glycemed is. It's like the little green hand cream, just hand cream basically. It's glycemed, and like it was a woman's hands, and the caption was, "I'm taking some me time." And it was like the most depressing thing to think. It was like if you're like the high point in your self-care is like the impulse purchase, like $1.99 like little glycemed at Shoppers Drug Mart. Like at least with like, you know, like Calgon, take me away. Like, okay, like a bath is like half an hour. Like how long can you like stretch out applying hand cream? And then like if you put on like enough hand cream, like you can't do anything else. So, I think there's like, oh, but like I can't make dinner. Sorry. So I just think that's probably a pretty good tactic. I really love Shoppers Drug Mart. I was in Shoppers Drug Mart last week, and the music that was playing was Old Lang Syne. And then the next song that played was Ding Dong the Witch is Dead. I was like, that's weird, right? And so I'm trying to like make chit chat with the cashier, and I was like, oh, so like who's DJing today? And she looks at me like I'm a monster, and she goes, it's Senior's Day. And I was like, oh no, of course, yeah, it's Senior's Day. And I felt like I was like human garbage. But then when I left, I was like, well, hang on, like seniors don't want to hear like Old Lang Syne and Ding Dong the Witch is Dead. Like how old do you think seniors are? Like seniors are 130 years old. Seniors want to hear like CCR and like Janis Joplin. Except for my dad, I was actually raised by an adult goth. This is true. So I saw Depeche Mode with my dad. I saw Morrissey with my dad. And so, but you want to rebel. I want to like, you know, get my own shit. And so the way what that looked like for me was I'd be like in my room, like making bunting, like singing along with like There'll Always Be in England. Like, I'll show that guy. And it totally worked. One day I was waiting after school to be picked up, and I was like, my sort of look is like either like I didn't know I was going to leave the house today. Or like first day I'm allowed to dress myself, or like June Cleaver in the town. That's kind of the range. And so I was like dressed like kind of like in a June Cleavery dress. And my friend Amanda was wearing like a black velvet cape and like black eye makeup and like an ankh. And my dad like pulls up like blaring Skinny Puppy. And he literally like points at Amanda and looks at me and he's like, Audra, why can't you dress normal? a lot to rebel against. So yeah, I work from home, which means I don't get dressed very often because that's like one of the best parts of working from home. So I'm pretty committed to like being gross. How long could you go without like doing basic hygiene, then just like double it? And so like the way this manifests itself was like recently I was messaging with this guy that I kind of a crush on. I was like, oh, we're gonna hang out, and I was like, oh, we're sort of in the same industry. Like, is it a business meeting or is it a date? Like business meeting date? And I was like, oh. And I was messaging with a friend. I texted my friend Claire, and I was like, Claire, I figured out. I had a shower, so it's obviously a date because I'm pretty sure you don't shower before a business meeting. And she was like, no, you definitely do. Traditionally. I have actually a Claire Sonic, which is probably like a bit of a fancier version of the Susan Lucci. I don't think it has any like vibrating like potential like application. It like is like subsonic, like I don't know. I feel like if I just like Clairsonic my face every so often, like it's probably like blowing all the dirt off my whole body. But I got it as a clout perk because I have this really high clout score because I just tweet all the time, and companies like give you things if you have a high clout score. And recently, this ad agency convinced Chevy that if they gave all these like local influencers a Chevy Camaro for the weekend, a Camaro convertible, that like I don't know, I guess like Camaro sales would skyrocket. And so they just gave them out based on numbers, though. But if you look at clout, like it tells you what you're an influencer in. And I'm an influencer in, like, it was like knitting, politics, and abortion. So like, I don't know, like, am I going to, like, drive the Camaro, like, to a knitting store and, like, a political rally? And I was like, oh, maybe they think I'm going to get pregnant in the Camaro and then need to get an abortion. Possible. But then I thought, like how high of a clout score would I have to get before the clout perk I got was universal access to abortion? Like, I think that's like a really kind of cool way to like everyone's like bored of Parliament, right? Like legislation and like, but like if it was like, oh, like you like Audra Williams, like your clout perk is universal access to abortion. Like click here to accept this perk. You're welcome. That's kind of how that would go. I actually used to run Jack Layton's Twitter account, and I stayed up really late one day because I had to tweet that he was having breakfast with the Australian Prime Minister because we trusted him to do that, but like not to tweet about it. I'm so glad that I had breakfast with the Prime Minister. Then I went back to bed. Then I got to work the next day, and I was like working and monitoring the media. And then I went like halfway through the day to the washroom and saw that my dress was actually inside out because I was so tired. And so I'm like, wait until Twitter hears about this. And so I grabbed my phone and I wrote, I'm so tired. I just noticed that my dress has been inside out. And then I realized what you already know, that I was still logged in on my BlackBerry as Jack Layton. And then I did like, so then I was like, okay, well, I'll just like, well, first of all, just like I could do this forever. Like, you can do a lot with one hand. I was like, I'll just like shove my hand in a toilet, and then I'll like flush my House of Commons BlackBerry. But then that's frowned upon. But then I did the most alias thing possible. It was like I took off the back of my phone and then I kicked out the battery, and that is why you should have a BlackBerry instead of an iPhone. If you are ever going to accidentally get super fired, but also end up on the news. Okay, thank you. Happy Women's History Month.
Okay, yeah. Perfect timing.